Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you for always watching and supporting the channel. Who do you think will win, Dr. Manhattan or the Marquis of Death? The confrontation between two superhuman entities. Dr. Manhattan, real name Jonathan Osterman, is a near-omnipotent entity in the DC Comics Watchmen universe. After an accident in a nuclear reactor, he became a being that can manipulate matter at the quantum level, see through time and space, is immortal, and has the ability to create or destroy life at will. Dr. Manhattan's powers go beyond all normal limits, including reality manipulation, teleportation, dispersing or recreating himself, and even creating life on other planets. The Marquis of Death, Clyde Wyncham, is one of the most powerful villains in the Marvel Universe, possessing powers far beyond those of most entities. He can alter reality on a multiversal scale, destroy dimensions, and easily destroy cosmic beings like Galactus. The Marquis of Death has traveled through countless realities, trained alternate versions of Dr. Doom, and killed countless gods and superheroes just to satisfy his ruthlessness. Before we dive into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Dr. Manhattan, whose real name is Jonathan Osterman, is a near-omnipotent being who was accidentally detonated by a nuclear fission. He was formerly a brilliant physicist, but a laboratory accident turned him into a being with abilities far beyond the limits of normal physics. Possessing the power to control matter at the subatomic level, he can restructure any object at will, teleport, and even clone himself infinitely. Dr. Manhattan's perception is unlike that of a human. He experiences time non-linearly, meaning that the past, present, and future exist simultaneously in his mind. This causes him to gradually lose his connection to humanity, as all events are predetermined for him. He is immortal, unaffected by disease, aging, or any physical effects. These make him a near-divine being. However, Dr. Manhattan still retains some remnants of human emotions. He has moments of nostalgia for love, memories, and his previous life, though they seem to be only fragments. An omnipotent yet lonely entity, Dr. Manhattan is a transcendent being with the ability to manipulate matter, time, and reality on a near-infinite level. Not only is he immortal, he is also immune to all forms of physical or biological attack. No weapon can harm him, and nothing can force him to act against his will. In addition to controlling time, Dr. Manhattan can manipulate matter and energy on a fundamental level. He can change the atomic structure of any object, creating or destroying matter at will. This gives him unparalleled power, with no equal. Although he has a similar origin to Captain Atom, he possesses far superior strength. Manhattan's powers are not simply the result of nuclear fission, but are amplified by cosmic forces that many other superheroes have tapped into. This means that his powers may be even greater than what has been shown. However, even Manhattan has yet to fully explore his potential, as he has not had the means or motivation to fully exploit the hidden abilities within. Despite his seemingly limitless power, Dr. Manhattan is not invincible. He can still be harmed in special situations, and he was ultimately destroyed before he had fully reached the peak of his powers. A transcendent being who has yet to fully understand his own abilities, Manhattan remains a great mystery in the superhero universe. Dr. Manhattan is a reality-manipulating being that allows him to create or destroy the entire multiverse at will. He can also interfere with the flow of history, even erasing his own origins. However, when it comes to the Jonathan Osterman alter ego, Manhattan simply remarks, "It's a beautiful dream to live." Manhattan's most notable trait is that he hibernates inside a version of Superman. However, that doesn't mean Manhattan doesn't see Superman as a threat. In fact, Manhattan once tried to kill Superman, but failed. Surprisingly, many people seem to forget this event, despite it being clear evidence that, despite his power, Manhattan is not invincible. He is immune to being erased from reality and can break the omnipotence paradox, but there are still boundaries that even he cannot overcome. The Marquis of Death, also known as Clyde Wyncham, is one of the most powerful beings to ever appear in the Marvel Universe. He is not just a mutant or a villain, but the absolute ruler of the multiverse, possessing powers far beyond those of the top cosmic entities. With the ability to manipulate reality on an unimaginable level, the Marquis of Death can destroy entire timelines, erase realities with a single thought, and recreate them at will. He is not bound by any physical limitations and can even surpass powerful cosmic entities such as the Living Tribunal or Eternity. This absolute power makes him one of the greatest threats to every dimension in existence. The Marquis of Death also possesses unparalleled strategic thinking and ruthlessness. He trained a younger version of himself, turning him into a bloodthirsty destroyer, before ruthlessly eliminating him when he was no longer of any use. His ruthlessness and brutality manifested itself in the erasure of countless realities simply to satisfy his own boredom. Despite his seemingly invincible powers, the Marquis of Death was eventually defeated by the Fantastic Four, but that did not mean that his threat was over. The Marquis of Death is the ultimate being, the only being from Earth 1218 with powers beyond all limits. As a mutant, he has reached godlike status. With the ability to manipulate time and space at will, the Marquis of Death can erase entire timelines in a moment, rewrite history in ways he deems interesting, or simply create distorted and nightmarish versions of the universe to satisfy his endless cruelty. He does not simply destroy, he toys with existence, turning every reality into a chessboard to test his power. The Marquis of Death is not only terrifying because of his unparalleled power, but also because of his inhuman cruelty. He sees all other entities as inferior, nothing more than puppets for him to torture and crush. He enjoys pushing his enemies into hopeless challenges, instilling fear before finishing them off. For him, destruction is not only a goal, but also a joy. Even though he has been defeated, the threat of the Marquis of Death has never truly disappeared. The Marquis of Death is a tireless and unstoppable destroyer. He can change history, turning each world into a different version according to his will. He has destroyed millions of universes without encountering any significant resistance, making everything that exists pale and meaningless before his absolute power. The Marquis of Death is not just a common threat, but one that even the most powerful cosmic beings fear. This power is not simply destruction, but the ability to regenerate and recreate everything from ashes, making him one of the most powerful and feared entities in all the universes. The Marquis of Death, after destroying countless universes and recreating millions of realities at will, feels an emptiness that cannot be filled. His boundless power, while bringing him absolute domination, also leaves him in a state of utter despondency. The Marquis of Death yearns for someone who can make him cautious, an opponent who is not simply a victim of cruelty. He no longer seeks mere destruction, but a true battle, an opponent who can give him back the sense of life he has lost in his endless journey of destruction. Please subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot, and moreover, you will see great videos every day. You are the best, thank you so much. Upon discovering the existence of Dr. Manhattan, the Marquis of Death could not help but feel interested. Dr. Manhattan, a being with powers that transcend all conventional rules, was the only person the Marquis of Death felt could test his absolute power. He had destroyed countless universes without encountering a worthy opponent, but the appearance of Dr. Manhattan presented a new opportunity, a battle that could rekindle the passion for fighting that he had not felt for a long time. Determined not to let this opportunity slip away, the Marquis of Death immediately began manipulating the surrounding reality to create a fighting environment that he could completely control. Dimensions, timelines, and history were all twisted and altered at will to test Dr. Manhattan. However, the Marquis of Death did not know that Dr. Manhattan, with his profound understanding of time and space, could predict the outcome of the battle, and Dr. Manhattan was defeated. Manhattan still decided to participate in this experiment. For him, it was not a battle to be won, but an opportunity to test his limits, to explore possibilities that even he did not fully understand. In the moment of confrontation, the Marquis of Death did not hesitate. With a wave of his hand, he turned part of the universe into dust, completely erasing all traces of realities that he no longer needed. The Marquis' brutality was not only shown through his physical strength, but also in his ability to manipulate time and space absolutely. To test Dr. Manhattan, he sent twisted realities into space that the Green God could not easily control, dragging him into absurd time streams. The realities the Marquis created were not just normal transformations, but distorted versions, where history was reversed, where Dr. Manhattan had never existed. He altered the entire flow of time to erase Manhattan's existence from the very beginning, before he became the omnipotent entity the world knew him to be. Each universe the Marquis sent to was a test of both mind and body, and Dr. Manhattan was faced with a reality he could not easily shape or change. However, Dr. Manhattan was not easily subdued. With the ability to reconstruct himself from other dimensions, or thanks to his non-linear perception of time, he quickly found a way to recreate himself. Despite being caught in the vortex of twisted reality, Manhattan remained his own person. Dr. Manhattan immediately used one of his most powerful abilities to disintegrate the Marquis of Death on a subatomic level. Although Manhattan's forces could easily break down the structure of normal matter, this time it was completely ineffective. Not letting the war fall into a stalemate, the Marquis of Death immediately counterattacked by creating a series of parallel universes, each a new battlefield for Manhattan to face. These realities not only challenged Dr. Manhattan's power, but also forced him to fight on multiple fronts at once, each universe bringing a new challenge with different rules that he had to get used to. The feeling of being scattered and the pressure of fighting across multiple realities at the same time caused Dr. Manhattan to fall into a state of uncontrollability. Manhattan tried to teleport the Marquis out of the time stream, a strategy that could remove him from all realities. However, the Marquis was not so easily defeated. He resisted all attempts at teleportation, maintaining his existence in every moment, creating a powerful barrier that even Dr. Manhattan could not easily break. In that moment, Manhattan raised his hand, and the dimensions that the Marquis had used to attack him immediately returned to their original state, without any sign of disturbance. Manhattan could exist in every moment and space at the same time. Manhattan did not waver. With just a thought, he reset the entire universe that the Marquis had shattered, returning it all to its original state, making all the changes the Marquis had made meaningless. The Marquis of Death, after realizing that Dr. Manhattan could not be erased in the usual way, with his brutality and desire for domination, decided to use his ultimate weapon, erase all the times that Manhattan had ever existed. He focused his power on tearing Manhattan's being apart, sending each part into different time streams in order to break his connection with the universe. Dr. Manhattan is not an ordinary being. He is not only an entity that exists in space and time, but also time and reality itself. Each part of him sent into different timelines is not the end, but the beginning of the regeneration process. And so, even though he is torn apart, he can still be reborn. From the torn timelines, Dr. Manhattan recreates himself, restoring every part of his being, strong and whole as before. The Marquis of Death realizes that his strategy has failed. Dr. Manhattan, realizing a weakness in the Marquis. Although he possesses superior power, he is still dominated by negative emotions such as ambition and arrogance. It is these emotions that make the Marquis a vulnerable being, unable to overcome the psychological barriers that Dr. Manhattan is well aware of. Dr. Manhattan changes the Marquis' atomic structure, making him a harmless entity. The terrible power that Marquis once possessed is now just a faint memory. The Marquis, who destroyed millions of universes, has now become an ordinary person. No longer has supernatural powers, no longer has great ambitions, he is left with only a useless body, unable to do anything more than face the harsh truth about himself. The final victory belongs to Dr. Manhattan, not because he possesses superior power than anyone else, but because he is an inseparable part of reality, from the smallest atomic particles to the vast cosmic phenomena. Marquis, no matter how powerful, is still an alien entity, a part of reality, but tries to break and restructure it in his own way. The final winner is Dr. Manhattan, not because he is stronger, but because he is the reality that no one can resist. I hope you enjoy this fight. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Please follow me if you like. That's today's video. Thanks a lot.